All right, awesome. So we're going to get going on this panel, and we're just going to talk about the origin of Toronto DAO and what we have been up to and where we're going next. My name is Hussein. I was here earlier doing the Kahoot game. So why don't we go around the panel and everyone introduce themselves and just tell us about how you got started with Toronto DAO.
All right. Hi, I'm Matthew from, 5 minutes ago. I'm one of the co-founders of Toronto DAO. There's always been, Antoine, one of our co-founders, has always, who's not here right now, has always toyed with the idea. And I guess for like a couple years, there was like, once in a while we would talk about it, and then we'd be like, oh, that sounds cool, and then we'd never bring it up again. And yeah, we just decided to go for it in 2023. It was a bit, slow going because it was kind of like, what does a community DAO mean? And we had back and forth, but yeah, I feel like we're going really strong now, and we have good brand awareness. And I feel like I already answered the question 30 seconds ago, so I'll stop talking.
Awesome. So, Atika, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So hello everyone, my name is Atika Fatima and I am a blockchain product engineer. I'm a computer science graduate, and I think my Toronto DAO origin story, obviously not a co-founder, was not there when the idea came into the inception, but I think I was there when the first event happened, and Sameer's energy specifically was super contagious, I believe. We connected, and I used to see every morning on LinkedIn he posted, good morning, we're going to win. I don't know what that is all about, but it was super fascinating to me. And then one of the other meetup events I met with Matthew, and there's this guy who's like, Matthew is somebody who you would not notice, the first time when you enter the room, but he's also one of the most intelligent ones in the room. He's like, he has knowledge about everything Canada, like things that you don't even find on Google at times. I feel I can ask Matthew about it and he would have some information on it. So we did have, I think, a crypto debate sort of discussion group, and then post that Sameer asked me whether I was interested to contribute to Toronto DAO. Yeah, I remember we had that during, I think, one of the Bitcoin Bay meetups, so shout out to them for introducing all of us. But yeah, that's my Toronto DAO origin story, where Sameer asked that, I said yes.
Absolutely, because Atika has the best LinkedIn posts. She's like a master of marketing when it comes to offline stuff and just in general. Her engagement rate on LinkedIn is the best I've ever seen, and I just thought we have to have her on the team. We have to have her on the team. So I'm very glad that you're here. I started, the same as Matthew. I joined in 2023, and we just sort of started just going at it. And my specialty is PR and marketing and branding, and that's customer acquisition as well. But that's kind of where my strengths are, and we've been kind of going at it. It was just me, Matthew, and Antoine having the weekly meetings online every week. And then we just started growing, and now we have a strong team of 11 people, and we're very proud of it.
Well, awesome. Can we get a round of applause for the Toronto DAO team for putting all these? So you guys kind of touched upon what my next question is going to be. So I'm just going to skip that. So the next question I want to bring up is, can you guys tell us or discuss what it really takes to put up an event of this scale? From getting the sponsor or looking for the sponsor, which Sameer is really good at, from going from that part to actually sitting here and doing this panel. What does it really take to throw an event like this?
So I think what surprised me is we recently had Maria join us, who is unfortunately not doing so. She's just a bit under the weather, so she couldn't be here today. And she brought up a lot of things that we did in past events that she pointed out, how we can improve. For instance, some of you may have noticed the pizza came in 2 intervals. She's like, that's to keep it warm. And that's something I didn't really think of. Like when I was in charge of that, I just ordered a bunch of pizza, and then you had cold pizza at like 6:15. And
I remember those days.
yeah, so I guess it was sort of like not knowing a lot of things you don't really pick up on. Like when you go to other people's events, you kind of just think you're mimicking them, and then you realize that there's so much more behind the scenes that you're not aware of.
Even little things like these wristbands that we have now that we can help,
Oh yeah,
which
we
help
didn't,
us track.
we didn't have those until
Yeah, which
until
help us
last time.
track the audience. Yeah. So can we shed some light on how do we go about the sponsorships and the current work involved in just seeking those sponsorships?
Sure, it's like we're talking to a lot of groups in Toronto, like I'm not gonna name any names, but there's a lot of us, like we're trying to do something like that as well, and it all comes down to money, right? Someone has to support you, someone has to sponsor, and not necessarily just money per se, but also like maybe they want to buy free food or they want to like rent out a spot for us. It's all about communication. It's all about reaching out and asking. A lot of people don't know about it, but if you just reach out and ask, you shall receive. So that's my number one suggestion, is just like reach out to people and offer your services or offer your platform. So right now, Toronto DAO we have like over 1,000 people right now in our connections in our network. And that's a huge benefit to our sponsors and to our partners. And that's really helping us. But as far as like what it takes to have a good event, I come from like the boxing industry, and for me, an event is just like a boxing show. There's a main event, and then there's an undercard, and there's a halftime show in between. Like Matthew Pujitsky was our halftime show. That's something that I'm really like try to implement in the Web3 events here in Toronto, Web3 and tech in general. But like, you know, the flow should be good, the money should be there. You get money by hustling, and by hustling I mean just reaching out to people and say, can you give us money in exchange for this benefit that we're gonna give you? So you're not just asking for money, you're actually offering like, hey, I'm gonna give you access to our exclusive Toronto community, because Toronto community right now in tech, they're popping, they're the best. It's a great conversion rate. And you will have an exclusive access to our community because you will be partnering with us as a title sponsor or a starter sponsor. So it's definitely not just asking, you're actually telling them like, what are you presenting them in return?
So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, just to, so like Samir said, the answer is always no until you ask, right? And though I have not contributed to the events, organizing specifically Toronto DAO events directly, I've been to a lot of events throughout the past year, and I think with Toronto DAO, right, I think it's the team that makes it different. Like the different backgrounds that we come from, the variety or the diversity that we bring into the whole team, right? Whether it is Samir, he said he comes from a boxing background, Matthew or me or even you, right? We're a very diverse group if you look at it. Like there's no way we would have collided if it was not for Toronto DAO. And I think that's what is bringing, that's what you can see in all of the events that we're organizing, right? Even if it is tech, even if it is, you know, developer workshops that we're doing, even if it is even if they're sponsored, right? Different sponsors that we've had, there's always that little Toronto DAO touch to all of the events that we're doing. So I think that's what sets us apart. It's the team.
Well, it's definitely the team for sure, because I have been to other events, and you know what? There's something about Toronto DAO that keeps bringing people back. And now we have, like Samir said, we have a roster of over 1,000 community members who are there a click of an email away, right? So something Atika brought up. So the innovation, right? There's not just events here. We're also building in the back as well. That's a lot of stuff people don't see. Recently, we developed the Bespoke Beaver App. Yes. We're still fighting over the name, but I think we're going to let the developer have that one.
No one's fighting. It's a beaver.
Okay.
That's been decided, brother.
All right. I guess we've decided already. Let's see. I don't think so. But why don't you guys dig into some of the innovations that we've been working on, and from the app to the minting platform, and where are we going with that? Whoever wants to go first.
I can go first. I think because there are crypto communities all over the world, and it's, I mean, the ones I've been to in different parts of said world, no one talks about an app. And so I feel like an app helps differentiate us. And even the Bespoke Beaver app, I've had people from outside of Toronto, outside of Canada, they've asked about it. So while Toronto's our focus, it's now having people from outside the world are starting to know who we are. And so I think that really makes us stand out.
I think we started as when Toronto DAO, the inception happened, we started as a community that wanted to, build innovation, build these products, ship these products, and then because of our diverse group, we deviated into multiple branches, events being one of them. But the innovation has always been there with the T-Coin paper that we launched, with the T-Coin event that we did, and even with the latest Bespoke Beaver app that we built. I think it was a Friday we came together. Within an hour, we had the name, we had the idea, we had, a rough architecture, and I remember why we picked up the term like bespoke, or why we picked up beaver, because it's the national animal of Toronto, and it was a fun afternoon, and that's what Toronto DAO is all about, spontaneously coming together to build that innovation, to retain that tech talent in Toronto.
Yeah, so I remember it was at the Solana Super
Yes,
Teams,
yes.
their Friday co-working spaces.
Yes.
And I remember I go there every Friday, but for some reason I wasn't there this Friday.
I think you were fasting.
Yeah, maybe, but I do still show up. I'm not sleeping all the time. So I saw the chat, I saw our internal chat, and within an hour there was we were talking about an app, and I'm like, whoa, what did I miss? Like, what's happening here, and what's this app, and like, where did it come? How did it come through so fast? So yeah, that was the speed of innovation there. That's something that you lightly see around, right? Yeah. So Samir, do you want to add on to the?
I think we should just definitely continue doing that. That's something that we've experimented with, and it's a massive success. I have a lot of developers reaching out to me personally, and to other people as well. They want to join for the next session. Like it's a 3-hour challenge, right? To create something out of nothing. And as I said last time, like if you're not shipping right now, I don't know what you're doing. You're doing something wrong, because it's so easy to ship right now. Especially if you're actually a dev. It's one thing to vibe code something without skills, but if you have skills and you have the power of AI, then let's go.
Well, that's the motto here. Let's go. If you're a dev right now, you should be shipping, right? So that brings up an interesting that leads us to our my next question here. We're going to be quickly wrapping up, but quickly, where do you think Toronto DAO is heading next? What do you guys think?
I really want to try to get the community more involved. I don't know what that will look like. We have been toying around with what to do with the NFTs that we've already been distributed. Maybe it has something to do with the Bespoke app, but I think it'd be really cool to have more community engagement. Okay,
so for Matthew, it's more community engagement.
I think one of these days we're gonna ship the next big thing in Toronto. Because of Samir's motto, shut up and do it. it's just him and his leadership that we're able to ship so quickly. So I think in terms of innovation, and especially on the tech side, I'm really excited to see how things turn up, what all apps that we ship, and I'm pretty sure one of them is gonna hit it somewhere.
Yeah. So for Atika, it's the next Facebook or the next Bitcoin that we're looking at, huh?
I wouldn't call it Bitcoin, but yeah, somewhere.
Okay, awesome. That's exciting. Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you, Samir?
Just scaling what we have right now. We have a little baby right now that's Toronto DAO, but we already have something that resembles a media department, something that resembles a dev department. We have great operations. We have the great formula to do it. It's just a matter of scaling. And so once we scale, we're just going to be pumping up all that stuff, all those events. Social media department, by the way, we have great social media team. Our metrics is off the charts. It's just a matter of scaling it, because everything is already there. So got to grow it like a tree.
Well, awesome. For Samir, it's about scaling Toronto DAO now. Well, that's all for now. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us, and we hope to see you again here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.